Have you ever wondered what it's like to be colorblind? I used to think about that as a child because my dad was colorblind. And so it was with great interest that I found out that there are glasses that are now made that can help colorblind and color deficient people to see color for the first time. And so if you look on the internet, you can find those videos of people who put on those glasses for the first time. And their friends and their families are watching them. And it takes a little while. They put the glasses on and it takes a few minutes for them to be able to see the difference as they look around at their surroundings, right? And it's really emotional to not only see their reaction, but to see their friends and families' reaction as these people are seeing things, seeing the world in a different way for the first time. And they say things like, "Oh my gosh, that's red? That's what red looks like?" Or, "Oh my goodness, look at how blue that is. Wow, whoever knew blue could be like that," right? So it's very emotional and it's fun to watch the videos. And I can relate to that because, in a little way, because when I was a little kid, I couldn't see very well. I had just poor vision, right? And my dad had this idea that you should not put glasses on a kid too soon because that might hurt their eyes, right? So I went through many years of my elementary school squinting and messing up my face so that I could see the board, and the teachers would put me in the front row so that I could see better. And so when I finally got glasses, when I went to the eye doctor and put on glasses for the first time, I was amazed that people saw the world this way all the time, right? And I remember standing in the doctor's office and looking across the street at the trees on the other side of the street, and was truly blown away by the fact that they weren't lumps like I drew on my art projects, but they were actually, you could actually see the definition of the leaves, and you could actually see the colors better, really. So that's what I think is what's wrong with education. Well, not what's wrong with it, sorry. That's why I want you to re-envision education with me. I want you to put on a new prescription. And that new prescription, with that new prescription, you will see that we need to extend student learning in any way and every way we can through community involvement. We've been looking at education the same way we have for 100 years when it comes to the structure of it, right? Why do we have the school day and the school year that we have now? It's because 100 years ago, that worked for families. They put the crop into the bin, and then their kids went off to school, knowing that the kids would come back, that the school year would be over, when they needed them again for planting. And they got up and they did chores together in the morning, and then the kids went off to school, knowing that those kids would come back so they could get the chores done before dark. So we still have this August to May, 8 to 3 kind of schedule, and we're pretending like that still works for families. I don't know about you, but I don't see a lot of families that operate under that schedule anymore. The reality today is that 50 years ago, 70% of our families had stay-at-home moms, right? One-income families. Today, it's the exact opposite. Over 70% of our families are two-income families. And that means that 30% of our children are home alone in the morning, getting themselves to school. And 30% of our kids are coming home at the end of the day to an empty home. Or parents are shuffling their kids around, spending extra money, finding babysitters, or maybe if they're lucky, grandparents to come in and fill in that gap. Some things have changed in the world, in the life of education, right? Technology has changed a great deal. We've heard a little bit about that today. So the tools that we use to teach have changed quite a bit. We are less reliant on paper and pen, and we don't use chalkboards anymore. So now it's a world of smart boards and iPads and computers and visual reality and internet learning, right? So the technology has changed a lot, but we're still using the same system and expecting that to work. Imagine, if you will, that you're a parent and you need to get to work at 7 o'clock in the morning. And the school building doesn't open until 7:30. So what do you have to do? You, again, have to spend extra money, you have to find somebody willing to help your kids into the right place, you have to provide extra transportation. It doesn't fit with the family unit to find that extra help at that time of the morning. Imagine instead that you could all get up together and go off to work and to school, and you could drop your kids off at the school, knowing that your first and your third grader were going to be spending time with the visiting nurses and learning about the importance of dental hygiene and how to floss their teeth. And at the same time, your middle schooler would be at the greenhouse working with the local gardening group who are helping them plant tomatoes, and at the same time learning about plant science and about genetics. Or maybe you're that set of parents who is there in the morning, but it's at the end of the day that's the problem. They don't get home till 6 or 7 at night. And so again, they're shuffling kids here and there and finding transportation. But what if instead they knew that their students were going to stay at school, and then the community people would be coming in? Perhaps it would be the local librarian, the local book club people that would come in and discuss a favorite novel with their son or daughter. Or maybe it would be the sportsman's club that comes in and teaches the kids how to fish. Or let's flip it the other way. Maybe in this community we've got a lot of elderly people, and there's some elderly people that would come to the school so that your middle schooler could teach them how to set up their Facebook page. Point is, we have a lot of community people who have a lot to share and are willing to do that, are willing to make a difference in a child's life, or simply want to share their expertise. And we have a lot of agencies that are already at work, but are struggling to find access and to find transportation that they wouldn't have to if we could keep kids at school, and to provide that mental health or that social service or that Big Brothers Big Sisters Club or the 4-H club or whatever it is that this community has to offer. Or perhaps there's a community college in your community with students who are studying to be nurses or teachers or accountants who need to have some time to spend teaching that and learning it better themselves. Every community is unique, and every community has much to offer to give students that opportunity to make that connection, to create that relationship, and to extend their learning. We talk a lot about school choice in this country. We talk about choosing this school or that school. What I'm talking about is school choice within the school, so that parents can make better decisions for their families, so that students can make interesting choices for their learning, and so that communities can make good choices on what they want their communities to emphasize when it comes to education. If you squint a little bit, you can actually see that we're trying to do this, right? So if you squint a little bit, you can see that we have what we call before school and after school programs. Of course, you have to qualify to be in them, right? You got to be low income or at risk or qualify academically somehow. What if instead of calling them before and after school programs, we just called it school, right? And we offered some choices as to what could take place in that time period. Squint again and you'll see that we already do that when it comes to sports. Nobody thinks twice about the gym being open and the community being involved early in the morning and late at night, and late at night with our sports programs. That doesn't seem strange to us at all, that we have volunteer coaches and that we have people coming in to teach kids how to pitch or to supervise while they're doing weightlifting. That doesn't seem strange to us at all. But at the same time, our classrooms are dark when there's opportunities there to open them up to extended learning and opportunities for our communities to truly get involved in what the future of our community is going to be. It's looking at something the same way we always have, and it's kind of generational. It reminds me of that old story that I'm sure many of you have heard about, with the woman who's making the pot roast, right? And she cuts off the ends of the pot roast. And her son's watching her do that, and he says, "Why do you cut off the ends?" And she says, "Well, I don't know, that's how you make a pot roast. That's the way Mom taught me." And so he doesn't like that answer. He's not really satisfied by it. So the next time he's at Grandma's house, he asks her, "Grandma, why do you cut the ends of the pot roast off before you put it in the pan?" And she says, "Well, I don't know. That's how you make pot roast. That's the way my mom taught me." So the next time they make a visit to the nursing home, he has the pleasure of talking to his great-grandmother, and he asks her the same question. "Why do you cut the ends of the pot roast off when you make a pot roast?" And she says, "Well, I only had one pan, and I had to cut off the ends in order for it to fit into the pan." Right? We tend to take a look and do the same thing because that's the way it's always looked in the past. And in the process, we're cutting things short. We're cutting our students short from the opportunities and the relationships that they could have. We're cutting our families short from the opportunities that they would have to truly spend more quality time and less stressful time with their children. And we're cutting our communities short because of all the ways that they could get involved and truly make their communities a better place. So I'm encouraging you now to not wait any longer. Put on those glasses, look around, and see how we can't make our communities and our education system more colorful and brighter future. Thank you.